Welcome to the press conference to the movie Snowcake, the opening movie of this year's Berlinale, Berlin Film Fest. And I'm going to introduce our guests to you, and I'm starting from your left. This is the writer of the story, the script writer, Angela Pell. Welcome in Berlin. And next to her, we have one of the producers of the movie, Mr. Niv Fichman. Welcome to Berlin. And next to him, this is Andrew Eaton, one of the producers. Welcome. And another producer sitting next to him, this is Gina Carter. Welcome to Berlin. And this is Emily Hampshire, who played Vivian. Welcome. And this is fantastic, Mr. Alan Rickman. And please welcome Sigourney Weaver. And next to me, this director of the movie, Mr. Mark Evans. Welcome to Berlin. So, I think you must have questions. Yes, there's one. Please wait for the microphone.
Hi, Noah Barkin with Reuters. Ms. Weaver, can you tell us how you prepared for the role? And I'm also curious whether you think this is a movie about autism or just a movie with an autistic woman in it.
Well, I'll answer the second question first, if I may. I think one of the reasons I wanted to do the movie was that it was not about autism. It was about a woman, a very unique woman who also happened to have autism. And I think that's what I found most appealing about it. As for the preparation, it was took me a long time to even understand how to prepare for this part, because every person with autism is so unique, and to find someone like Linda took me a long time. I have to say it was one of the most fascinating years I've ever spent researching this part, and I learned so much, and I met so many wonderful people, and then it was very satisfying to actually get to use it in the part, and I had a lot of help, and I'm very grateful to everyone who helped me try to do this accurately.
Thank you. Another question over there.
Alan Gibbard, SVC Welsh Language Broadcasting in the UK. Some comments to Mark first. Llongyfarchiadau gresog I ti, Mark, ar rhan pobl Cymru ac ar rhan S4C a wedi saith. Ni'n falch iawn o dy lwyddiant di fel Cymru fan hyn yn Berlin, and that won't be found on the translation, I don't think. I'm sorry for that. But the question, Mark, goes to Sigourney Weaver. You use one phrase in the film and refer to you typical people. After your research into the film and into autism, are you any closer in working out who or what is typical?
Is that a question to me? Well, I will answer in Welsh. No, I won't. I wish I could. I
just said diolch yn fawr.
Diolch yn fawr. What does that mean? Long live Wales? Oh. I guess yes and no. You know, what I perceived is that there are problems that are shared by a lot of people on the spectrum. They have those in common. But as for every person I've met on the spectrum, they're completely unique, and I would not want to be in the business of generalizing about this particular condition. So that's...
And another question over there.
Laimon Suris G from Riga, Latvia for Kinopause. I want to thank you for an extraordinarily moving film. I'd like to know how did you prepare, or how did you come across this part?
How did I come across this?
Yeah, how did each of you find this movie?
I found it through him, and I don't know how you found it.
It came to me from Gina and Andrew, the producers, and Mark and I went to meet them, and on some level, Angela said she'd written it with me in mind. So it wasn't difficult. You just read it and say yes immediately. Then the difficulty started.
Okay, another question over there.
Hello, everybody. Gregor Wastelos from ItalianTenant.com. This is two questions. First one to the director, second one to the script author, you, Mrs. Pell. I'm here. I'm hard to oversee. I'm pretty big. Here, Mr. Evans, I'm over here.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Sorry. I love the film very much myself. Also, thank you very much. Great opening movie, especially compared to last year. The question is about the use of music in this movie. There's this wonderful chord that you struck. First scene when Rickman sits in the plane, we hear this music. And well, this is how I read it. All the time when this music appears, something magical is happening, especially with the character of Linda. Could you comment a little bit how this music actually worked for you? And the second question I'm going to answer after that.
Okay, well, I love music. And so every time I think about a film, I think at some point what the music might be. And we found an already discovered band called Broken Social Scene, a Canadian band, who work very much as a creative, cooperative, together, bringing in instruments and sort of riffing with musical ideas. And how we made the music was we put them in the studio with the film for 9 days. And they sort of became characters in the film, I think, for the period they were making the music. And they produced this feeling of otherness. I think what none of us wanted to do really was to make a film that was a sort of social realist piece or a social issue film. And before starting the film, Angela Pell, the writer, wrote me a little note saying, you know, to live with an autistic person has moments of hell, but they can give you glimpses of heaven. And we wanted something heavenly and ethereal and other in the music. And I'm so glad you liked it, because I think it's just delightful. Oh, I have to also thank Emily, of course, because when I got to Canada, Emily Hampshire, who played Vivian, made me a CD of Canadian music. I also made her a CD of Welsh music. So that's why the super furry animals are in the film also. But there was one track on it, which was the track which ultimately is the dance between Linda and her memory of Vivian. And it sort of became it's Anthems for a 17-year-old Girl, I believe is the original title. And that sort of became a bit of a touchstone for the film, because it had this beautiful, childish, and yet profound, magical quality to it. So yeah, I have Emily to thank for that as well.
But also, Emily gave Mark the tape, and we used this song by Broken Social Scene, and the singer was actually called Emily as well. So
that's why I liked it.
Oh, it's even more bizarre. So it's very, very right.
My second question goes to Mrs. Pell. I don't know if this is true. I heard somewhere that you actually have an autistic son.
That is true.
Could you comment on how much that influenced the great writing that you delivered with this movie? Because the lines are incredible.
Well, I think living with my son Johnny, the whole film sort of came from that, really. So all my experiences, bouncing on the trampoline, eating snow, that's all down to my son, really. So, yeah. I wanted to write a film that showed that sometimes living with autistic people can be a pain in the bum, but actually most of the time it's really good fun and very enlightening. I hope that answers the question.